Hey guys, this is Tonna. Today we're going to be talking about the new Stax. Red looks like, as of the Ixalan patch 2, have kind of jumped up in my opinion in regards to Stax decks. Honestly, this Odja Axonil just makes some insanely great stack stuff when you combine it with the sheer amount of different red spells and stuff like that are going to deal, 1 damage. Each time they kind of deal 1 damage whenever an opponent does something, or, they tap mana, deal 1 damage to them. However, because of his ability, it's not going to deal 1 damage. It's going to deal damage equal to whatever his power is. So, you've got over here, when he deals damage, he's got a 4/4. So therefore, anytime you're dealing non-combat damage, which a lot of these cards are going to do, it's going to deal 4 damage. So red just looks like they're going to be crazy with stacks. So let's start with the mana bars, because I think this is kind of like, shows what I'm talking about. So whenever a player taps a land for mana, mana barbs is going to deal 1 damage to that player. So, if they tap 5 lands, all of a sudden you're dealing, 20 damage for them. It's crazy. The mana barbs is just crazy with this. And, that's going to deal it directly to the player as well. Yes, it's more expensive of a enchant, sure, but we're mono red. We can just pump out a whole bunch of mountains. We've got Sulfuric Vortex here. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, you're going to deal damage to them. It's also going to stop them gaining life, which is one of the annoying things here, because we're not going for commander damage or anything like that. We're just going for slowly kind of chip them away, make them punished for what they're trying to do. So, slowly chipping them away each time they have their upkeep for 4 damage is going to be bonkers, because not just that, they're also not going to be able to heal it with any lifelink or any spells that give them any kind of extra health or anything like that. We're going to be able to stop that. We've got Burning Earth here. Whenever they tap a non-basic land for mana, it's going to deal 1 damage to them. So when you combine Burning Earth with mana barbs, all of a sudden you're, dealing 2 damage each time they tap one. However, because they deal it separately, you're going to deal 8 damage with them. So then we've got Spell Shock here. Whenever a player successfully casts a spell, deal damage to them. So now we're going to be punishing them for 4 damage every time they cast a spell. So they're trying to do their instants, they're trying to do their sorceries, they're trying to just get a creature out on the board. We're going to deal damage to that as well. We've got Repercussions here. So whenever a creature is dealt damage, Repercussions is going to deal that much damage to that creature's controller. So, we've kind of slowly chipped away at an enemy or something like that. You've got the new Pantalaza deck where you want to just deal 1 damage to your creatures or something. All of a sudden, that's 4 damage going to their face. Just constantly kind of punishing them. You get everyone else to kind of bring out their creatures and go fight each other, and boom, all of a sudden they're wiping each other out from these Repercussions. We've got Pyrostatic Pillar here. Whenever a player casts a spell with converted mana cost 3 or less, is going to deal damage to them. 4 damage. Whenever they deal cast a low mana spell, they're going to potentially, if they chuck out too many spells in one turn, they could potentially, just kind of half their own health. We've got these two here, Aether Sting and Aether Flash. So Aether Sting is going to deal damage directly to the opponent whenever they cast a creature. And then Aether Flash is going to deal damage to the actual creature when the creature comes out. So if you combine these two, they're going to cast a creature spell out. That creature is going to then, deal damage to their owner, 4 damage to their owner, and then take 4 damage as well. So if you manage to, catch someone off guard because they're not paying attention, you could deal, you could wipe out their creature and deal damage directly to their face. We've got Leyline of Combustion here. So whenever you or one of your permanents you control becomes a target of a spell or an ability an opponent controls, you're going to deal 2 damage to that player, deal 4 damage to that player. You've got your board kind of set up here. It's kind of like a little bit of insurance. It's kind of ward pay for life kind of thing, because they're going to have to, if they want to specifically target Odja Axonil or one of your enchantments that you've got out there, they're going to have to pay that life each time they try to do that. Battle Strain here. Whenever a creature blocks, deal damage to that creature's controller. So you know, manage to get out a whole bunch of creatures as well. You kind of slowly building up here because you don't have to worry about them targeting you because you've got this out there. And who wants to take damage to the face just to target someone? All of a sudden, you know, you go to attack, they go to block. You're just going to be able to deal 4 damage to their face each time they block with each creature. Or you just sit back there and just let your opponents fight each other. Hey, you want to block his creature? Well, are you prepared to pay the 4 life as well? It's got like trample with extra steps there. We've got ancient runes here. During each player's upkeep, it's going to deal damage to them for each artifact they control. So, you know, you've got someone chucking out a whole bunch of treasures or something like that. It's going to deal 1 damage to them for each of those. That's going to be bonkers. We've got here, the other thing is that it is based off of his power. It's based off of Odja Axonil's power. If someone's going to be casting a spell out, you could quickly unleash Fury and double his power up to 8. Or you could just give him +3/+3 or +3 or +1 or combine them together to all of a sudden you're just, you know, let's see, he's got 4, 7, 10, 20 damage for each land they tap. That's going to be crazy. And it's not expensive either. That's only 4 mana. That's only 4 mana that's going to cost you. The other thing is that there is some other Staxy stuff in here, or, you know, more control-y stuff. Like we got Magus of the Moon, or we got Blood Moon here. Both of them making all non-basic lands into mountains. So all of a sudden, your opponent can't tap their, you know, annoying lands or something like that. Just completely screw over anyone who's needing those specific lands or anything, or, you know, they're using a whole bunch of combined lands and, like, you know, double tap lands or something crazy, like, you know, like you got battle bond lands and stuff. You can use these to just completely turn them into mountains. And best case scenario, they're not even red. They're not even red because, you know, I don't know, they don't like fun. So all of a sudden they've just got a whole bunch of red mana. And what are they going to do with red mana there? Or we've got other stuff like making it so that when a land comes into play, tap all the other lands they've got, or making it so that they can't untap more than 1 creature during the untap phases. Or we've got Urabrask here, who just makes it so that any of creatures from your opponent are going to enter tapped too. Well, there's a lot of different reds options in here for stacks. I'm very excited about red stacks being a thing. I'm going to potentially go and kind of look at some of these cards and get them and build a big deck out of them because I'm very excited about Odja Axonil. As you can guess, I've actually got him sitting right here in front of me too because he's slowly kind of building the deck around him as well. If you like this, I did actually build a budget deck for him too, so make sure you check that out. I hope you guys had a wonderful day and goodbye.